Hey folks, walk with me. It is so stinking cold out here. And there's ice on top of the snow. And then there's more snow that's about to come and pile on top of the icy snow. So we're getting a real winter this winter, it seems. But, I finally realized what something means. Something that I've come across several times over the last several years, and it's this idea that is a Zen Buddhist idea, as far as I know. Maybe it's ties in elsewhere, but it's this idea that time flows from the present to the past, not from the past to the present. And I've heard this before in different teachings, different books. I heard it most consistently from Alan Watts, but he framed it in a way that was like, if you think of like a speedboat, and the wake that is behind the boat, his saying of it was the wake behind the boat doesn't push it forward. It is the motor in the boat pushes it forward, and the wake is what's left behind. And that's a very now that I understand what this time flows from present to past means, that's a very confusing way to present that idea. And I prefer my metaphors to clarify things for me. That just made it way more confusing, I thought. So, in its simplest terms, if you think of mindfulness, if you think of staying in the present moment, the question at some point arises, well, what if in the present moment I'm thinking of the past? It's like, yes, you're still in the present moment. Maybe you're thinking of the past, and maybe you shouldn't do that too often. Or maybe you should at least be really aware when you're doing it. But it's not like you have to prohibit it in some way. And because you're thinking of it in the present moment, you are thinking of it in a certain way, right? You're contextualizing in a certain way. Your references are based off of your present day situation. And so whatever memory, whatever image you have, whatever takeaway you have from those past events, they are getting there from your present day situation. Your present day view of them is what makes them become what they are. Now, there might be some immutable truths, right? If you're thinking about 10 years ago when you were in Paris, and how you felt about it or whatever, the fact that you were in Paris, yeah, that's probably an immutable fact. You shifting that present day isn't going to change it. But the sights that you're seeing, the feelings you're having, the faces you're remembering, the smells and the tastes that you're recalling, those are largely dependent on your interpretation and your view of that today. And we know from things like the judicial system and eyewitness testimony, yes, it can be powerful, but we also know how flawed it is and how flawed eyewitnesses are, that we often don't see what we think we see when we look back on it. And this is sort of in part that, right? It's the lack of reliability of your memory and your ability to sort of like recreate things in your head. But the biggest influence on those things, those recreations that you're having in your head, is your present day state of being, your state of mind, your sense of well-being. All of these things are the biggest factor in that. And the memories, like I said, there's some immutable facts, some immutable truths, but the feeling that you have from them, the sense that you get from them, what you think their meaning is or was, those are coming from your present day. Those are heavily influenced by your current state of mind, concepts, resources that you have. That is the present informing the past in such a way that it is creating it. It is creating a lot of what you remember about the past. So time flows, as the Zen Buddhists would say, from present to past, because even if you're recalling the past, you're thinking of it in the present, and you're bringing all of your present energy to it. It could be good energy, it could be bad energy, positive thoughts, negative thoughts, whatever it is, but you're bringing it to those past situations. All right, folks. Hopefully, without the boat analogy, that was simpler. And maybe everybody else knows this, and it's not obvious to me. But that wouldn't be the first or the 1,000th time that were the case. If you walked with me this far or watched along all this way, I really appreciate it. And as always, I will see you in the next video.